All right, welcome to the Great Minds Podcast. This is Derrick.
This is Warren.
On episode 5. So huge shout out for checking us out today.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, so last week we covered part 1 and 2, episode 1 and 2 of the Last Dance doc. Obviously it was heavy. I personally think episode 2 was a little bit better. Part 2 was a little bit better, which was surprising. But what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, they basically got done with the whole. We got to talk about North Carolina stuff a little bit, and the past, and then all of a sudden it's like going right into it, which I think was just well done all around.
Yeah, word. Yep.
But now we're on 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So 3 and 4.
Touched on a little bit about Phil Jackson. I know people view Phil in a couple of different ways, as far as some people can be like, oh well, he had the great players, which he did. You can't win in the league without great players, no matter what the coach is. So thoughts on Phil? What you got?
Basically, I think Phil, he's a genius. First of all, he's a little quirky, which is good, which is what you need. He does things outside the norm.
Yep.
And plus being 11-time champion, two rings with the Knicks, I believe, right?
Yep.
And then the rest was from coaching. And then the doc showed how, basically he kind of he paid his dues.
Yep.
He played, was like a journeyman player, working went to Puerto Rico for a while, playing in a little small town. but they were fighting at games and stuff like that. And went to CBA for a while.
Yep.
And, then was brought in by Jerry Krause. Again, that name's gonna pop up a lot. Jerry Krause is a big part of this whole thing. And I think Phil and all, like I said before, one of the greatest coaches ever. But he's a little sneaky too. We'll get into that a little later. But he's a little sneaky with. I think everything he does is kind of it's a reason behind it, like a mastermind.
He calculated.
Everything is calculated. So I think what he did with the Doug Collins thing was kind of calculated. He knew to get in with Tex.
Yep.
and figure out how the system worked, and then he's gonna slide in.
Yep.
So, how about your thoughts on it?
I thought one thing about Phil that I think is good is when you coach in the NBA, you have to be able to handle egos.
Yeah.
You got Mike and you got Scottie. He had his stuff going on. Later on, he had Kobe and Shaq, and the infighting, and he still figured out how to get a three-peat out of that too. But I think a key thing is when Doug Collins was fired, Michael Jordan loved Doug Collins.
Yeah.
He was like a younger coach.
He gave him the ball.
He gave him the ball, let him rock. Not only that, they were ascending as a team too. So they went from the 30 wins and to struggling to losing to the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals. So the last thing you think is, this dude's about to get fired.
Exactly.
But he got him to buy in. And I think Phil's one of those dudes, kind of in how Steve Kerr is now.
Definitely.
Now, I think he can make good teams great. I don't know, because we haven't seen it, if he could take a bad team and make them very competitive. The Collins might have even been better at doing that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think he wouldn't do it. I think Phil's it has to stack up his way. He's not going to take it on. So he would never want to rebuild a team at all, ever.
Yeah.
I don't think, even when he was younger, he had the pieces. He knew exactly what to touch, and he also kept his assistant coaches with him.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to say?
And Phil's a big energy guy. So he's just if the energy in the room looks like a 35-win team, I ain't doing it. Not going to be able to do it.
For real. He's I'm going to do some yoga and chill out in Montana or something.
Yep. All right, so as we transition, I want to get into one of the takeaways. This episode was heavy, man.
For real.
It kind of dove right in. But one of the takeaways I got from it, and again, when we're watching as younger fans, we're just seeing teams win and be great, or teams lose, or whatever the case is. But the Bulls really, really benefited from no social media. So I mean, things can get reported in newspapers, but by the time it prints the next day, there's something else happening already, and
Exactly.
and it's not there's no memes you could attach to situations. There was none of that, and
no camera phones.
And we'll get into it later. Like, imagine there was camera phones when Rodman was in Vegas during the season.
I seen pictures of that.
Okay.
The pictures posted now, but it's, again.
But it's now, but like,
yeah.
Like, it would have been posted 10 seconds after the first person saw him in the club. So I think the Bulls benefited from that. Had there been social media, things could have been a lot different.
It would have been ugly.
It would have been ugly.
Yeah,
That's one of my takeaways from.
Definitely. One of my takeaways was, besides that, like what they went through that 98 season, like I can't even fathom that happening. Like now. Yep. Yeah, I didn't even realize, of course we didn't realize it, but we were old enough to kind of hear stuff. But again, it's papers. There's no Twitter, there's no IG, no Facebook. So it's like I had no idea what they were going through. Like what and how valuable Dennis Rodman really truly was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of my biggest takeaways is that Rodman was one of the probably, like I think I told you offline, like best defenders ever. 1 through 5 he can play.
Yeah. And another thing that was kind of cool about Rodman is like he can be held accountable, but the right person has to do it. So I remember that time when like Scottie was out for that, I guess, up into January or whatever. He came back.
He got that tea.
And he got that tea. And Joe was like, "Yo, what's good?" He said, Dennis rolled up to my room and
asked for a cigar.
Yeah. Like, and that was his apology.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? And from there, it was just kind of it improved dramatically from there. So it was pretty cool that the trust that Mike had in him, and the fact that Rodman knew, at a certain point he knew he could be
held accountable for it.
You
know what it is too. I think that relationship that he had with Phil, because I think going back to Rodman's past, he needed that loving coach or someone that really loved him, like Chuck Daly.
Yeah.
So in the NBA, it's a business. You know how it goes. Not everybody's on that. Like you're gonna get with the program or you out.
Yep.
So when the Bulls grabbed him, they went and got him.
Yep.
And they're like, we don't need you, but like we want you. And he showed that trust. And plus, Phil being quirky, he can pick up on those quirks.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, another coach was like, "Yo, get out of here! I don't want to deal with Rodman."
Exactly.
Even Jerry Krause didn't want him.
Yeah, I think the assistant GM is the person that sold him on him too.
Yeah, exactly. So again, Phil again being a genius.
So I'm gonna go with Krause again. I think all people see is like, yo, how dare you tell Phil he can't come back? And I was one of those people too. But like, he's in the Belichick type of style. One thing that like I just think his he was just so progressive in his thinking. So it's like, all right. So the first thing he did was he saw that the Bulls were in a standstill with the other coach. I forget his name, Stan something, I believe. But anyway, he's like, all right, well, let me get Doug Collins in. This is a young coach that's going to bring great energy in. That's probably going to have a great relationship with Michael Jordan, and he matched with Jordan well. So that's great. Everybody in the whole, city of Chicago is like, yo, we went from being like a very mediocre team to the Eastern Conference Finals. The next step is like win the championship, meaning with Doug Collins.
Well, so, I do think they would have won a championship with Doug Collins.
Maybe.
Eventually, like if they would let him rock, they wouldn't have won 6, but they would have got 1. I think they would have got 1. And
that's one of my points to Krause. He said, "Now this is the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr thing now." So he had in Tex Winter. He knows that Tex Winter is just like an absolute genius in basketball. And like you said, Phil's like, yo, I got a feeling. Let me chill with this dude, learn from him. Probably let me highlight Krause, like, yo, I think the triangle's great. You know what I'm saying? Doug wanted this cat nowhere near him.
Yeah, like, they had him like coaching from like
he was taking notes to the sidelines. So I think as crazy as it was as the time, like firing Doug Collins, like after he got him to the Eastern Conference Final, was similar to like when he made the trade for Bill Cartwright.
Word.
And it's just kind of like, I think Krause saw, or at least had the right people in his ear to let him know, like, yo, Michael Jordan cannot win the championship. Like, you can only score with the ball.
It's coming from the baseball thought process. You know
Team.
what I'm saying? Like the team. So
Yep.
he knows the team. He's being totally emotionless. Doesn't care about any feelings with it. And it's a business. But these guys, like I said before, basketball, it's only 15 guys on the team. So that chemistry is key.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think the fact that he was able to, like, make these bold moves, a lot of these moves were like, boom or bust moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Phil came in and Mike hated him, like, Krause would have been done.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So, much respect to Jerry Krause, for real.
Yeah. He's a GOAT. He's a GOAT of GMs.
Yeah.
That people don't talk about. But he is.
For sure. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he had a low ego, but we know that. Everyone has an ego.
Yeah,
especially at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Definitely.
Any other takeaways? Yeah.
Nah, I mean, we're going to get into it, later on, but just the whole Jordan rules stuff. And one takeaway I did pick up, like, Rodman led the league in rebounds for 7 straight years, right?
At 6'8".
At 6'8". He also had 7 games where he had 0 points and 20 rebounds. The only person close to him was Marcus Camby with 2, which I think is insane.
The thing is, like, he's a Hall of Fame role player, as crazy as that sounds. Like, he played a role outside of, like, somebody that scores, and he played that better than anybody.
And the thing is, I think he chose to just focus on defense and because he's smart. Like, most kids come in the NBA, I want to score all the points. But do you want to stay for 15 years, or do you want to be 5 and probably done? Exactly. He said, I'm going to find my niche. I'm going to rebound. And the way he was able to figure out and study how the ball was coming off the rim.
Yeah.
Like, that's genius type of thinking.
Yeah.
And most geniuses are a little quirky anyway. So.
And then it's like, another takeaway is just like how Jordan still harbors those feelings about the Pistons. Like, you talking about 30 years ago.
But I heard something. They were saying that basically that was Jordan speaking from at that point how he felt about them. Like, he still thinks Isaiah is a jerk. Still thinks that because of what he did, type of thing. And I get that.
Yep.
But what they were doing to him was crazy. It wasn't basketball. Like, I mean, I know he wasn't the only one getting fouled, though, because back in the 80s, everyone was getting fouled like that.
And they play like that, too.
They play like that. So you can't just say just Jordan. Isaiah got hit with elbows, too, and everybody. But the rules, and we can get into it, the rules that they have, I wrote the rules down. It sounded crazy. The Jordan rules, hold on, wait. The Jordan rules were, all right, we can't stop them, so they're gonna hurt him pretty much.
Yep.
Don't let him get in the air. If he's on the wing, push him to don't let him get baseline, push him to the middle for help. Second, if he's in the post, have the trap coming from up top to push to the to push him to the middle. Next one, if he gets into the paint, foul him. Before he jumps, right? And then what's another one they had?
Well, they said once he got in the air, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap. But they were like, the fouls they were doing, though, weren't even playing the ball, though.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. Like, and that's why I think Jordan was a little mad about that. Because if you playing basketball, you're going to get hit. Yep. That's cool. But they weren't hit. They were, like, hitting them in the face. They were clotheslining people.
Yeah.
Like, it was different, yo.
Yep.
I don't even think players today could even stand up to those hits. Yeah. I'm surprised he still was Jordan after getting hit like that for all those years, for 3 years, 4 years.
Well, what he did was he didn't go in the media and ask for a trade.
Yeah.
He didn't at least he didn't do it out in public. Right. Everybody's gonna complain about something, behind closed doors, but that's where you're supposed to do it.
But they didn't think about that though. They think about trades back then. So like when you sign with, if you were a Laker, you're Laker for life. Yeah. They didn't think about that. They were like, yo, it's like the late mid 90s. Mm-hmm. Probably thinking like, yo, I can get out of here.
But he went in the weight room.
15 pounds. 15 pounds on. Yo, the whole team though. They was like the whole team after they lost, no days off, we're going right to the gym and we're going to work out.
Yep. And they were saying like putting 15 pounds of muscle on a guy that runs all the time is crazy.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be able to keep that muscle. Like you should always be shedding.
Yep.
Well, what was he eating, I wonder?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's that personal training. All Michael did a cycle real quick.
Word.
we don't know. We don't know.
He snitched on everybody except himself.
Word up. He can tell you about that. Like them 2 cycles in '89.
Word. So, another thing about just to circle back with Phil and like how he managed the team. Like Rodman asked to go to Vegas, so it's like, if Randy Brown asks you that, you like, you could go to Vegas, but don't come back.
Don't ever come back, Randy.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, man. In coaching, it's like, you have to coach everybody fairly, but that doesn't mean it's the same treatment.
But differently. Fairly, but different.
Exactly. But, so he's like, if him going to Vegas for 48 hours, ended up being longer, but
he went longer.
Yeah. If it ends up being 48, I mean, if you go to Vegas for 48 hours and you're gonna come back and we're gonna win a chip, then it's worth it. But
think about this. Think about who he asked though. He asked Mike. He didn't ask Jerry Krause.
Well, you know what it is.
But still, like he went. He said, "Nah, me." I don't know if he had a game though, so I assume they had no game. I'm assuming they didn't say that though.
Well, as long as he was there, he definitely missed one because he ended up being there.
That's what I'm saying. They never said if he had a game or not. I'm assuming they had no game. But it's the NBA. You might get 2 days off, maybe. You might get a 3-day stretch, maybe.
Yeah.
And he's out in Vegas. But he needed it though.
Yeah. And to Phil's point, like, one, if he tells him no, he's probably gonna go anyway.
Or he's gonna sulk. He's gonna get mad.
Yeah.
Not perform.
Exactly. So it's just kind of like, let me let this dude go because if I have him here, I'm gonna lose him. So may as well, Of course, he didn't come back, and Mike pulled up at the door.
Yeah, they said he had 2 cribs. He had a crib in downtown Chicago and a crib by the practice facility.
Yeah,
Mike had drives to the downtown Chicago one.
Yeah.
To get him, like, are you, like, seriously?
Yeah, he
knew it. He had Carmel Lecture in the crib with him. Like, people gotta think about this. Then Rodman was like a rock star for real.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was bigger than basketball.
For real, he was like on some. Imagine if Lenny Kravitz played basketball. that's what it was, yo.
That's a fact.
Crazy. But,
what surprising moments? I mean, it's always something like we follow it, so we know a lot of it.
Yeah.
What's something
that caught me off guard? Wow.
Yeah.
Really was that 48 hour. That 48 hour, the Rodman thing. I had no idea he went in the middle of the season 48 hours.
Yeah.
Then to realize that he really went because he was feeling when Scottie came back, he felt dejected again because he felt like the third wheel.
Yeah.
He always needed to be like loved pretty much. Like a better word,
and I don't know if you saw the 30 for 30 on him, but like I mean, he's really at the core of him, he's a sensitive dude.
Yeah.
So it's like, him and Mike had this bromance. He just like, this dude back, the second best player back.
For real.
What this dude doing here? Yeah.
Like, that's my best friend.
Yeah, that's my best friend.
Oh, you know.
What you doing back here?
Another one was when Jordan hit the shot in Cleveland against Elo.
Yeah.
And they were like, Ron Harper was like,
he was hot.
Coach, I got MJ. He said, not Elo. He was like, all right, okay.
He was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. He was. You see the video? After shot when he just like, I knew it was going to happen. MJ was like, I don't know why I had Craig Elo on me.
This fool right here. It's over.
Real. Threw him under the bus.
So
how about you?
One of the things, you just covered it. Like I was surprised how hurt Rodman was when Scottie came back. But the other thing is how out in the open Scottie was with being disgruntled. Like,
he was whining the whole season.
Yeah, I didn't realize that part of it, and then. And other thing that was surprising is like how similar Phil was to Rodman as a player. Even I mean, he was like a poor man's Dennis Rodman. So two things. I think that helped Phil, recognize his value because he did it on a lower level, obviously. And then also it was just like Phil was just out there. Like Phil was loose. Phil was doing acid. Phil was on. He was in his Lenny Kravitz bag.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying?
He was more like my man from the Doors back then. Jim Morrison. He was Jim Morrison back then in the 70s. So they both was I'm not gonna say weird, quirky.
Yeah.
You know?
Word. Yep.
But another thing that was kind of crazy. So we had the Craig Elo thing. Then the way Jordan was talking to Scott Burrell, that was pretty funny. But it's Scott Burrell though, so we gotta let that slide. He was young. He was like a rookie, right? Like maybe second, third.
He was younger.
year.
Yeah.
So if MJ making fun of you, you got to eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna say?
That's all.
Nah, but yeah, it just was crazy. A lot of surprising moments, but those are the ones that stuck out to me. Just Jordan, that Ron Harper thing is just funny to me though.
Word. He was like, okay.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. You think so? Who's that? Lenny Wilkins, right?
Lenny Wilkins. Yeah. Yep.
Lenny Wilkins snap. He should know better than that.
Word. Yep.
Whatever. Now.
So a couple of favorite moments for me. For me is when Doug Collins' first game, when Mike dropped 50, and then Doug Collins said he was sweating. He said he had he had stuff on his mouth.
Mike give him some water or something?
He's like, yo, my man, you gotta relax. He's like, I'm not gonna let you lose your first game. Dropped 50, which was the most at the Garden ever at that point. And they got that dub, but I thought that was a tough moment. I didn't know about that game either.
Yeah, I could say one of my my favorite moments was when it's a small one. You probably could have missed it when Craig Sager gave Dennis Rodman $100.
No, I think it was a 20.
No, it was 100, yo.
Was it? Oh, all right.
I think it was 100. It must have been an old ass 20, maybe. You're like, yo, this is for your fine.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. So, you see how the relationship that even Craig Sager, RIP to him, he had with the players and stuff. And then Jordan's first chip, I think that was in when Phil, and allegedly when Phil told him, like, yo, who's open? He's like, John, pass him the ball. Yeah. That was in the first quarter of the game. So to see Jordan just finally buy in and say, yo, all right, he is open. And he hit it. And Paxton had 20 points that game.
Yeah.
They were wide open jump shots. But still, the fact Jordan trusted him to do that.
And part of the triangle is like, yo, he said to Michael, all right, well, you're not going to score 37 a game. But you're Michael Jordan, so you're still going to score 32. But what you have to realize is, one, you're getting guys like Paxton open shots. And two, Pippen's going to be a whole different player. He can get back in his point forward, in his point forward style of play that he liked anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just going to help him. It's just going to be easier. It's a lot harder to track the ball. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be in your hands the whole time.
You're going to get yours regardless. Just helping everybody else get theirs.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And if you really want to win in this league, then that's what it's going to take.
But at the end of the day, if it breaks down, they're going to have the ball.
Yeah. You get the 5 seconds, then, go to work.
Then it's clear out.
Word. That's it.
It's 1 flat.
Yep. That's it.
That's what happened.
Clear out.
For real. So that was really a good takeaway, a surprising moment for me, just to see how that same thing happened later on in his career with Kerr. But to see how he just kind of clicked. He's open. Give him the ball, and he hit him. So, Paxton was no slouch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was a great role player. Yeah, definitely.
My last thing was kind of a funny moment when, Pippen had the migraine. Mm-hmm. I know people knock him for it, but
if you can't see, you can't see.
If you can't see, you can't see. But one thing I thought was funny, I don't know, John Sally. John Sally's a funny dude to me.
Yeah, he's funny as hell.
Yeah, he kind of
it's naturally funny.
Yeah. So this dude was like, when you got a headache and you can't see, and you playing against Dennis Rodman, that's awful.
Yeah, he had Pippen looking crazy out there.
Yeah. So I thought that was funny. I don't, even Mike. I think in Mike's head, he probably still thinks Pippen's a little soft for that because
of course he does.
Because what he said was he was just like. It's well, he said he had a headache.
What do you want me to say? He said he had a headache, so I believe him. Because think about it, if you don't have migraines, I never had migraines like that.
Yeah.
But they say they are horrible. You really can't even focus.
Yeah.
Came at the wrong time, of course. But at the end of the day, people are like, you had a migraine,
yeah.
And then it's Pippen. So Pippen was always looked at as kind of
soft.
Yeah, lack of a better word. soft because of the Chicago Bull. I'm sorry, New York Knicks thing that he did. He didn't want to play.
Yep.
So all that stuff plays a part into his.
It adds up. Yeah.
Adds up. So he probably really was hurt. But we gotta still talk about the handshake thing.
Oh yeah. All right. So here's the way I look at it. If Jordan did that, like, they had the Jordan rules, they fouled him, they slapped him in his face, and at the end of the day, he shook their hand 3 different times.
And he got interviewed. When have you seen the losing player get interviewed after losing the series on the court? And he took it. So,
and yeah, it's a dab you don't want to have to give, and it's like, but at the end of the day, he stood in there and he manned up and he shook everybody's hands. So I think it was kind of whack for the Pistons to do, because it's like, and it's one thing to walk out when they walked out during the game. It was just like they can't even face.
And they had to walk past the bench.
Yeah. So it's like
you can walk past the bench and go like this, like give a quick dap, like whatever, we out though. Just a head nod or something.
Yeah. And like if Mike did that, I guess I would have been cool with it. But like come on now. But at the end of the day, if they were the bad boys or whatever, and that's how they wanted to, I guess finish their deal off, I get it. But I thought it was kind of whack.
And Boston did it to them prior, but that doesn't mean that was right either. That was a sucker move too. It's still the same thing.
That's got nothing to do with Chicago.
It has nothing to do with that. So this is how we pass the torch. So yeah, so we're just gonna leave. A bunch of crybabies to me, but I think it's bigger than that though. I personally think Isaiah has something against Jordan. I think it's envy, because I think the thing is that Isaiah's from Chicago.
Yep.
Jordan owns Chicago.
Yeah. So
I think it's more than just that. He's like, I'm from here, and he wasn't really loved there. I mean, he was loved by the community probably.
Yeah.
Isaiah, but not the sports fans who play for Detroit. So I think he's a little envious of Mike for that, and I think he tried to take little shots at Mike all the time for any little thing.
Well, I think it's the dream team thing too.
Well, yeah. Well, I heard it wasn't just Mike. I heard Mike wasn't the one. Because think about this. Chuck Daly was the coach.
Yep.
So why wouldn't he pick his point guard, right?
Because Jordan's bigger than Chuck Daly. There was 10 other coaches that would have done that.
Yeah. But I heard Scottie didn't want him. I heard Karl Malone didn't want him. I heard people on the team didn't want him. People just thought it was Jordan. But they said it wasn't necessarily all Jordan like that. It was like, because Isaiah was like an ass. People didn't like Isaiah.
Yeah, he definitely should have been on that squad though.
Oh no. He should have been on the squad. But they're like, I'll take John Stockton than you, because John Stockton.
You gonna chill?
He gonna chill.
Ain't gonna be no problems.
And we still gonna win by 40 points.
Word.
So I don't need Isaiah to win this shit. You know what I'm saying? And if Chuck Daly though, you think Chuck Daly really couldn't say like, yo, Mike, I'm bringing Zeke with me?
He'd be like Mike. He'd be like, Chuck, I'm bringing Phil with me. You out of here. Imagine if Mike decided he wasn't gonna play in the Olympics because he didn't want Chuck Daly. Like Chuck Daly would have been like, you could have coached the team, man. You could. It'd be like, I want this kid Vaughn to coach. He like 12 years old.
Well, I'm like, all right. Be sitting there like this. Your Magic, can I have your headband?
It worked.
But that's the crazy thing though. But I think the handshake. I mean, it's one of those things that I think Isaiah is a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that time, like Bill Laimbeer is like, I don't care if we did, I do it again. Isaiah's like, I wouldn't do it again.
Yeah. So
it's kind of like.
And Isaiah gave like 3 different reasons. I was reading some stuff on it. Right. So you don't even know it's true.
Like Mike said, whatever he said now, he didn't mean it then.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
And I respect Laimbeer's stance. Like, I don't agree with it, but he kind of like, I said what I said.
Yeah. It's all good. Like,
dude, almost 60, still sticking to his guns.
Yeah, you can respect it. That's the thing that I think Isaiah, he realized that like he made a mistake. But it's cool. It's part of the game, but you can't tell me that's what everyone did though. Because Magic lost and gave Jordan a hug in the hallway. Yeah,
and he said like, if I was beat by anybody, I'm glad it was you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's love.
Yeah, so I think a little salty, but I think it's more personal. It's more about the Chicago thing to me. But Zeke is still nice though. He's still probably top 3 point guard, top 4, top 5 at least.
I got to think about it, but yeah, he definitely in that mix for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really all I got as far as the doc. Thought it was dope. Looking forward to the next one. See what they get into.
I think I'm talking more about the global impact of Jordan. I think and that's what I'm saying. Like I think like everybody's watching this doc. I don't care if you watch sports or not. Like he was such a global phenomenon. I think that if they did something like this, say I think Kobe got one coming out. They said that he had the same type of
last
thing.
season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think people like Kobe, I put LeBron at because with Jordan was a different time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like we talked about it before, I don't know if any of those like we'll watch Kobe, you know, because God, you know, God bless because he's not here. But we'll watch we watched the Muse thing.
Yep.
I don't think we watched it with the same type of focus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As we're gonna watch this next thing.
Yep.
So I think that I was just more surprised every time I watched it how many people were like tweeting about it. And I don't think it has nothing to really do with the quarantine thing. I think people were just waiting to watch it. You know what I'm saying? And how big of a global icon he was and how big of like he still is, not was, but still is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sometimes you forget though. You see Mike, the Charlotte Hornets now, like
or the crying Jordan face.
Crying Jordan face. So you're like, who's this old head?
Yeah.
Like he was more than an old head, man.
Yep.
A lot of dudes didn't eat because of Jordan.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of dudes.
Yeah. So just to switch topics real quick, want to get into what's some music?
Oh, yep.
Music you listening to?
Yeah, man. Basically right now, same thing with you. I'm listening to that Sky Zoo and Dumbo station.
Yep.
Probably, I think the first time it dropped, I heard like 3-4 times. No, 2 times that day, then like 3 the next day because it's like good easy listening.
Yeah.
And plus it's only 6 songs.
Word.
It's an EP, so it's like I definitely would check that out if I was anybody. I listen to a lot to Sir from TDE.
Yeah, he's dope.
He's dope. Yeah. I kind of got on him later. Like I knew he was dope, but now I'm really listening to him.
Yep.
And then I just been listening to those Versus playlists, yo. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah.
That's really what I've been listening to. How about you?
So I've been listening to Ransom, Jersey City rapper, used to be with A-Team, cool with Joe Budden, and had beef with Joe Budden at one point.
Everybody did though.
He actually I think he dropped 3 projects this year, so he been kind of killing it. Director's Cut 2 is what I'm listening to now, and this other rapper, singer, hybrid, dude named Deuce to God, dope, just kind of like in that hybrid Tory Lanez kind of, you know. I call these dudes are like point forwards in the NBA.
Yo, you know what's so crazy because I don't know who I think Nelly, yo. Mm-hmm. I think Bone Thugs and Harmony, of course.
Yeah, with the melodies and all that.
But I think like when they came out, they was totally different. But there was somebody before that I can't remember. But like now, it's like it's in a good space where dudes can do that and still be accepted. And it's cool.
Oh yeah,
because,
for sure.
Because before it was a time where you had to sing or you had to rap. You couldn't do both.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Force MDs used to be the Force MCs, and they started singing. So it's kind of dope to see that happen. And then Drake, Drake does it all the time now. And Tory Lanez, I think Tory Lanez is like I think he's how can I put it? Like, he can rap better than like 85% of the rappers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. When he in his bag, he could go. Yeah.
Yeah, and then his music, his selection, his beat selection, and his skill level is crazy. So.
Word.
Oh, so, one more. K-Camp.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a K-Camp.
Yeah, so that's Deuce the God. He's on Tidal. I guess I listen to him on Tidal. Got an album called Our Year. So
we need to plug Tidal. We need to plug Tidal more. You put me on the Tidal. I was dissing it because I had everything else. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna front.
It's convenient.
I haven't heard anything else but Tidal since I got it.
Yeah, it's convenient. So.
Right up.
All right, so episode 5.
Episode 5 in the bag, man. Thanks for everybody checking us out. Word. Keep commenting and subscribing.
Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram for content. The Great Minds Podcast. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
Wait, RP Fred the Godson too.
Yeah, RP Fred the Godson.
Definitely.
Dope lyricist and praying for his family.
With everybody that's affected by this whole COVID-19.
Yep. All right. Salute.